It's very dark because I spent all morning watching Hell's Kitchen instead of filming this video. So we do not have the bright aesthetic that you might be used to, but we still have the bright personality. Hello again. So I think I found the right angle that I wanted to film this. The lighting is still janky, but I think this is the best I can do. I'm like one of those witnesses that you interview who want to remain anonymous. Yeah, today I want to show you guys how I design a portfolio website and hopefully more tips of how I create portfolio websites and like what I'm thinking about when I'm actually looking through them is going to pop up in this video. So let's get right into the video. So we're in Figma right now. Using the F key, I'm just going to go and create a desktop frame. So I'm using this one mainly because I like building in desktop the most. If you want to, you could think mobile first design. I prefer doing it just in a desktop because I like working with the real estate that I get in desktop. Like if you think about it in the use case, if a recruiter or if like a UX manager or someone is looking for a candidate, they're probably going to be on their desktop at work anyways. So I'd rather just design for a desktop experience. It doesn't mean that you can't think of mobile as well. You definitely should, and your website should always be responsive so that it looks good when you're on your phone or something too. So from here, I'm just going to rename my desktop and then call it something like portfolio website. Then we have our blank screen, so it defaults to white. I'm actually going to go with a little bit of a lighter, like an off-white kind of color. I want like a very natural theme to it, like very planty, very just clean and minimalist, like this kind of stuff. So you can always scale your image proportionately by holding down shift when you're working with it, and that's just the image I have right now. So I can't, like, this is the kind of gray background that I'm looking for. Select on my portfolio, take the eyedropper tool, and then select whatever this color is. So for me, I do like it. I think it's a little dark, but from here it's a good starting point. And I'm just going to find a color that's like slightly lighter but still within like the same tone, and then I'm going to choose like a really simple font. So I've been really liking Georgia lately. I think this is the one I want to go with. I don't know if there are any Taylor Longs out there. There probably is. This picture that I have right now is going to be the one picture that I want to, like, I want this to be the theme of my whole portfolio. And what I'm going to do is start extracting colors from this picture and then use it throughout the portfolio so it looks a little bit like more cohesive. We don't have to use all these. I just like having them there instead of having to like go into the image again and like picking it out. I actually kind of like this. It's very neutral and it looks nice. The next thing I'm going to do is choose a color for this. Right now I have my font and I'm just gonna make my font a little bit smaller. I'll change the size eventually, and then I'm going to increase the tracking a little bit. So whenever I do any of this kind of design stuff, I like to think in multiples of 8. I duplicated the Taylor Long text and I'm just going to put UX designer on the main page. And for this one, I want the font to not be so big and like in your face about it. And I do want this to be a little bit lighter as well. So I'm going to take one of the original grays that I had chosen earlier, and then I'm going to do something like that. So now we're going to actually finally use the image that I had chosen earlier. And what I want to do is take the image, I duplicate it so I always have the same image beforehand, and then I'm just going to like line it up to the corner. So, and like this is only being done in Figma. If you are more comfortable in Adobe XD or Sketch or anything else like that, go ahead and make it in there. In the case study that landed me my job, I actually did it all in Photoshop. I was one of those Tumblr girls who had an anime blog when I was like in high school, and I like learned Photoshop from making like gifs of scenes from animes or like very aesthetic anime things. And yeah, that's why I became a designer. So I'm taking this box, and what I want to do is actually just give it like a little bit of a stroke, so like an outline around it. I'm going to fit this image inside of it, so I'm actually going to have to crop it a little bit. Double click on the image, this little box is going to come up, select from the drop down crop, Control Shift, and then closing bracket will bop it up, bop it to the top. I'm gonna center it. So Figma is really cool. It actually tells you like when something is centered within or like relative to another element that you have on the page. And it's really helpful because I can't eyeball things to save my life. So now we have this image. I do like it the way that it looks right now. I feel like the plant is too big and I want a bit more of that empty space. I'm going to take those layers, group them together, so then I can select both of them at the same time. And then I'm just going to place it at the corner of my page. So this is like another thing that I've noticed when designing, but everything looks like really good when you are looking at something in Figma through the Figma interface. It's like a different story when it's on your actual desktop. So I'm going to press the play button right now in Figma, and that just means that you can play through a prototype. We only have one screen right now, so it's not actually going to be a prototype, but it does let you get a better idea about how your composition is when it's like full size and the only thing that's actually on your screen. Spacing of it is like clearly off from what I can see. It's really important that you have your role and the role that you want to like give yourself on the very front page of your portfolio and also your resume too. Like it just makes things a lot simpler for the people who are actually going to be viewing your website and looking through it. Like back to that use case that we talked about earlier. If a UX person is looking through your resume and your portfolio, you can assume that they're also looking at other people's. And if you don't have like these headlining things like your role and also like even like your case study too, it's just like an extra click for them. Like why would you want to make them spend more time trying to find the information that they're actually looking for? Figma autosaves, by the way, you never see me hit save because it just does it for you. But like if you're using anything else that doesn't, remember to save your work. I have lost many projects through not saving them. Like for her case studies, I really want something that will fit with the theme of what she's going for right now. And it's this clean, white, simple aesthetic to her. And it just feels very like comforting. It feels very soft. It's very elegant, and I really want to stick with that for the rest of her case studies. And the thing is, like I see a lot of resumes and some of them are, this is all about me on the front page, and if you want to see my case studies, click on my like portfolio link or click a link to another page. And I'm just not too much of a fan of that. Like I like seeing it on the very first screen. I can quickly see like what kind of companies you work with, what kind of projects you want to solve. Again, it's removing some of that extra clicking that you need to do when designing, and I just like having it on the front page. I think it just looks a lot cleaner. So for Taylor, we are going to consider her to be like a very new person in UX, and that just means that like they probably don't have a lot of content on it, and all I'm going to do is add one case study to her portfolio. But I do want to build it in a way so that if she had more that she wanted to add in the future or add later, it's very scalable and it's also really sustainable. Like she doesn't need to redesign the whole thing because it's flexible enough that if she wants to add in like another 5 case studies that she does eventually as she goes further along in her career, she definitely can without having to revamp her entire portfolio website. So really do think about how scalable your design is going to be and making sure that you're reducing as much work in the beginning for future you, so future you can say thank you. There was a time though where I was like really set on this one portfolio layout, but then it only worked if I had specifically like 3, 6, or like 9 pieces of content inside of it. I was so like stressed out, like, oh, what if it looks janky if I only have like 8 things? Putting that kind of stress on yourself is just not necessary. Like you really do want to think about how you're going to be able to scale as you grow. So for her case studies, a few things I want to see included inside the case study, and I'm just going to mock it up really quickly. I would like some kind of image, like a logo for the company that you might be working with, title of the case study. I like how like I can see my hair progressively getting messier as I keep on designing. This is very real life. I don't know, Taylor's very ambitious. We're gonna say she knows her stuff. I'm gonna remove the period. Periods are so formal. I'll just call it banking app. Honestly, oh crap, I feel like I'm liking this more than my own personal. Maybe I should just change the name. I don't know. Taylor Wong. Taylor Wong has got it going on. Yep, and then read more, and we'll give this double the spacing. Or maybe triple? Yeah. Because I want to leave, like, what if I had extra text for like anything else that Taylor decides to design, and I just want to give her a little bit more extra room in case she has like a longer description for something, and not make like the readme look a little bit janky because it's in like a different place on every single one of her case study like boxes and images. Okay, why do I like this one better than my own? Should I change it? Is this a sign? Am I Taylor Wong? After a mild identity crisis, I finished off the mockup by adding in rectangles on the page using colors from my color palette because I thought it looked a little too bare on the right hand side. This is probably one of the more simple things you're going to make, but I feel like this is a really good starting point if you're just trying to get into UX and you need to move on to your case study really quickly. So I do want to say thank you for watching this video. I know that the formatting and the lighting and everything is a little like weird at some points, but I hope this was able to help you on your path to getting into a UX career, and maybe just give you an idea on how you want to design things and what it actually looks like when you're designing some kind of prototypes. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to give it a like, and remember to subscribe to my channel. We are going to be talking about UX and UX things all the time here, and best of luck in creating your portfolio. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Okay, now it's raining. Was Hell's Kitchen worth it? Can they ever cook scallops? Hold it,